You right now, Ellie was applying major pressure to get Caitlin Clark to come on to New York, and I think that'd be a great destination for y'all. I've been saying it, bro. Caitlin Clark need to get the hell out of Indy, bro. It ain't working. It ain't working.
The New York Liberty aren't just watching Caitlin Clark from afar. They're actively recruiting her. Their mascot was sitting right next to her at All-Star Weekend. Not during warm-ups, not during a timeout. Right next to the league's biggest star, making a statement that echoed through every arena in the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark to the New York Liberty? Confirmed? You guys? For real? Photos circulating went viral of Caitlin Clark in the bowels of the Barclays Center with Liberty coach Sandy Brondello and Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu.
This wasn't some random photo opportunity. This was calculated. This was deliberate. And this happened after Clark's meeting with New York Liberty players. A meeting where she looked absolutely content.
I think it's safe to say that the Liberty are currently running the full court press to try to get Caitlin Clark at some stage in her career. Do I think they'll get Caitlin Clark next year? No. Do I think it'll be the year after? No. Do I think at some stage they'll get Caitlin?
That mascot moment came after something even more significant. Deep in the tunnels of Barclays Center, Caitlin Clark was seen with Liberty coach Sandy Brondello, alongside superstars Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu. But here's what made this meeting different from every other post-game interaction. Clark's agent Aaron Kane was there. When agents show up to casual conversations, you know exactly what's being discussed. This wasn't about exchanging pleasantries. This was about Clark's future beyond Indiana.
Whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No,
really. Mascots, yes. The New York Liberty mascot, Ellie, was applying major pressure to Caitlin yesterday. I mean, she just could not stop messing with Caitlin. And I mean, it got so bad, Aaliyah Boston sitting next to Caitlin like this. Like all the people ain't just watching you just sit here and be all up in Ellie's face. I love this. I think Caitlin Clark was just showing love. But I'm telling you right now, Ellie was applying major pressure to get Caitlin Clark to come on to New York, and I think that'd be a great destination.
The timing couldn't have been more perfect for New York's pitch. Clark had just watched her team get demolished 98-77 without her. She's been dealing with her third different soft tissue injury this season, and every time she comes back, she's being asked to fit into a system that doesn't maximize her talents.
Imagine getting on national TV, being paid by ESPN, paid by CBS, and have the nerve to look at the viewing public, lie to them, and say the Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. I'm curious, are those same people going to be on TV this evening, tomorrow morning? Are they going to look in the camera and double down on the Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark?
Meanwhile, she's watching the Liberty operate like a championship organization should, with competence, with purpose, and with the kind of respect for elite talent that Clark has been desperately seeking in Indiana.
And yeah, by the way, Caitlin Clark looks unbelievably happy talking to these folks. But this is how it starts in sports. This is how it starts in the NFL. This is how it starts in the NBA. When you start seeing the wheels in motion, there's signs. There's signs before eventually a player gets traded. A player eventually marks their next destination. The Indiana Fever, you're on notice. You're on notice. You better recognize what you've got going on, the asset in front of you, and you do whatever you have to do to correct what is happening.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. Let's talk about what's really happening with Stephanie White's tactics, because this is where the panic truly begins. Clark came back from injury only to find herself moved out of the point guard position. White decided that Ari McDonald should run the offense instead. Think about that for a second. You have the most dynamic playmaker in the league, the player who breaks viewership records every time she touches the ball, and you're taking the ball out of her hands to give it to someone else.
everything was supposed to be built upon Caitlin Clark's strengths. It's that simple. It's that simple. What's wild is you had the easiest gig in the business. This was the easiest gig in the business. All you had to do was show up. Yo, what offense was y'all running last year? Y'all was scoring like 104, 108, sometimes in the 90s. Whoa. Okay, run your offense, but y'all listen to me on this defensive end. I'll let y'all do what y'all want on Caitlin. The offense is yours. I'm going to handle this defensive side of the ball. We're going to get better over here. You had the easiest gig in the business. You went and blew it. You went and just made the job 10 times harder than what it needed to.
This isn't coaching. This is sabotage disguised as strategy. White talks about wanting 2 ball handlers on the court, but what she's really doing is limiting Clark's impact before opposing teams even have a chance to react. The numbers don't lie. When Clark runs the offense, everything flows. The ball moves, points get scored, and the team functions like a cohesive unit. When she's relegated to playing off the ball, the Fever struggle to create offense, and Clark looks like a shell of herself.
I thought we started really well. I thought we were competitive. I thought we played with energy in the first 5 minutes. And then, when they kind of went on their first run, it kind of deflated us a little bit, which I'm not really sure why. But the offense, I think, for us, it starts on defense. And we, struggled, scouting report wise. We struggled personnel. We struggled to do what the coaches asked of us. And then, overall, we just played with more energy and effort, and those are the things.
Clark averaged 19.2 points and 8.4 assists per game in her rookie season. This year, under White's rigid system, she's shooting just 36.7% from the field and an abysmal 27.9% from 3. These aren't natural regression numbers. These are the statistics of a superstar being constrained by coaching that doesn't understand how to utilize her talents. Here's where the New York Liberty meeting becomes even more significant. Clark didn't just see a better organization during that tunnel conversation, she saw coaches and players who understand how to build around elite talent. The Liberty don't try to make Sabrina Ionescu fit into some predetermined system. They build their system around what makes Ionescu great. They don't move Breanna Stewart out of position to accommodate role players. They maximize their superstar strengths and hide their weaknesses. Sandy Brondello has already expressed admiration for Clark. Can you imagine White doing the same without immediately mentioning 3 other players? The difference in organizational philosophy isn't subtle, it's glaring. The Liberty treat their stars like stars. Indiana treats their biggest draw like she should be grateful for the opportunity to play in their system.
One thing I like about the New York Liberty, they got a little run and gun in their offense. When I watched them the other day against the Aces, and Sandy does a wonderful job making that ball go. And it's fast-paced. They shoot threes. They allow Sabrina be Sabrina. She can shoot her threes. They're a very well-balanced team. They got a little inside, but they also got some outside too. And I can see why they won the championship. And I just hope that when Caitlin Clark feels and sees that, she goes, that's a good idea. And
the viewership numbers tell the story of Clark's true value to the league. When she returned from injury against the Liberty, the game drew 2.2 million viewers with a peak of 2.8 million. That was ESPN's 3rd most watched WNBA game ever on ABC. Without Clark, Fever games dropped 40% in viewership. The league averaged 9,807 fans per game in 2024, but Clark's games consistently sold out 15,000-seat arenas. But here's the kicker, Clark won't be stuck in Indiana forever. Her rookie contract runs through 2027, but 2028 marks the beginning of her free agency. That meeting with the Liberty wasn't about making an immediate move. It was about laying groundwork for when she can actually choose where she wants to play. New York is building the perfect landing spot for her arrival. Let's examine what New York offers that Indiana doesn't. First, organizational competence. The Liberty have a proven track record of building championship rosters. They understand how to construct teams around elite talent. They have cap space, 154,969 in available room compared to Indiana's 111,931. More importantly, they have the kind of supporting cast that Clark has never had.
They
last year was the first year in its like 25, 30 year existence that it was profitable. Made $1 million. But it was the first time that it didn't lose money because the NBA supplements it. Well, when Caitlin Clark comes to town, you have to go from the 8,000 seat WNBA arena to the 30,000 seat whatever arena across town because of ticket sales and all of the apparel and all of this stuff that's coming from Caitlin Clark. And you're just like, okay, but the league is totally destroying her. You know, they're trying to destroy her from within.
Imagine Clark running pick and rolls with Breanna Stewart. Picture her finding Sabrina Ionescu for open threes after drawing double teams. Think about what happens when opposing teams try to pressure Clark full court with Jonquel Jones protecting the rim behind her. The Liberty don't just have talent, they have the right kind of talent to maximize what makes Clark special. The Liberty also offers something Indiana can't, a winning culture. They just won their first championship in franchise history. More experiments with Ari McDonald running point guard, more games where Clark is forced to play out of position, more injuries caused by the physicality that White refuses to properly address. Clark has already missed 10 games this season with 3 different muscle injuries. In college and her rookie year combined, she never missed a game due to injury.
But the Liberty have shown her love. We've seen that as a bit of a theme. There was the moment between Stewie and Clark when Clark came back from injury the first time. And then there were some nice words. I missed the moment myself of them posted up there for a second. But there were some nice words from Liberty coach Sandy Brondello that I did capture. And I thought they were...
Contrast becomes even starker when you look at how both organizations handle their superstars. When Ionescu struggled early in her career, the Liberty didn't move her off ball. They built around her strengths and let her develop into the player she became. When Stewart arrived in New York, they didn't ask her to change her game to fit their system. They changed their system to maximize her impact. Clark is watching all of this unfold. She's seeing how championship organizations operate while dealing with Indiana's dysfunction. They consistently sell out Barclays Center, and when Clark joins them, those crowds will only get larger. The media market in New York offers endorsement opportunities that Indianapolis simply cannot match.
I've never seen somebody fumble a incredible talent like this. Generational, once in a lifetime player like this. I've never seen somebody fumble the bag this easy. This was an easy bag. Stephanie White, this was an easy bag, bro. All you had to do was focus on the defense and let Kayla handle the offense. But you're fixated on this trash offense you brought from Connecticut that nobody wants to run.
The real appeal for Clark isn't the market or the money. It's the respect. The Liberty would never take the ball out of Clark's hands to accommodate a role player. They wouldn't experiment with her position while she's trying to recover from injury. They would build their entire offense around maximizing her strengths the way championship organizations handle generational talents. The panic in Indiana should be reaching fever pitch right now. They have the most valuable player in women's basketball, and they're wasting her prime years with coaching decisions that make no sense. Her economic impact has been estimated at $36 million for Indianapolis alone. She's responsible for almost 27% of the league's economic activity. When she moves to New York, all of that economic impact moves with her. The Liberty aren't just recruiting a player, they're recruiting a franchise-altering force who could turn them into the most valuable team in the WNBA.
For the people who don't believe in the CC effect, my precious CC, y'all ticket sales went from $262 to $121 to $64 to get in at the door. That is horrible. It decreased by 48%. You hear me? That is wild. So for all the ones who be hating on my precious CC, understand that Caitlin Clark effect is real. The CC effect is real. My precious CC is real. You hear me?
The writing is on the wall for anyone willing to read it. Clark's agent being present at that Liberty meeting wasn't an accident. The mascot photo wasn't a coincidence. These are calculated moves by an organization that understands how to recruit elite talent and a player who's watching her career get mismanaged in real time. New York Liberty and Caitlin Clark to storm the league, storm the playoffs, and win championships? Who says no? Certainly not the fans who want to see the best player in the world playing for an organization that actually knows how to utilize her talents. She's the star who brings the viewership, fills the arenas, and drives the economic engine of the entire league. The Liberty understand this. Indiana apparently doesn't. That's why Clark was all smiles in that tunnel meeting, and that's why Indiana should be absolutely terrified about 2028.
Players, they can't handle it. They can't handle the jealousy. Well, like, well, nobody knows the hell you are. Nobody knows you. They know Caitlin Clark. Like, you looking a gift horse in the mouth, and the WNBA, when they go for salary renegotiations and they get more money because of the viewers that Caitlin Clark brings in, they need to call Caitlin and say thank you for money because of you. But
the Queen doesn't need to settle for being treated like a pawn in someone else's chess game. She can choose to be the centerpiece of a championship organization that actually understands her value. The New York Liberty just showed her exactly what that looks like, and Clark clearly liked what she saw. Because when 2028 arrives and Clark has the freedom to choose her destination, the Liberty won't be making recruiting pitches through tunnel meetings and mascot photo opportunities. They'll be making championship promises backed by a track record of actually delivering on them. And for a player who spent her entire professional career watching her talents get wasted by organizational incompetence, that's an offer that's going to be impossible to refuse.